Welcome to Coach Washington Sports Talk podcast. This is Coach DeArmond Washington. A lot's been going on in Charlotte with the hiring of new coaches, kids transferring. Let's talk about it. Today we're going to talk about high school kids in general, everywhere, transfer, like moving on to another high school. At first, I used to hear about it. I'd be like, you got to leave your high school and stay and help your program rebuild and be loyal. But I'm starting to see coaches leaving, applying for new jobs every year. High school coaches are applying for new jobs every year. And, they leaving kids. The Butler coach, Hale's just retired, and they just brought Coach Furr back to Charlotte, and he's going to coach Butler. And in doing that, he reached out to his old coaches over there at Chambers, and they're leaving Chambers to now go to Butler. So if coaches can move around, I think high school kids ought to be able to move around too and do what's best for them. What if your program is not a good program? You just don't have that good of athletes in your program. It's not really a traditional winning program. Of course, you want to stay and help build, but how long do you put yourself in that situation? If your school is not going to the playoffs or being a playoff team, basically, just a mediocre team, do you stay there all 4 years and just put up with that, or do you move on and join a program that's consistently going to the playoffs, at least the playoffs, consistently going to the playoffs? And some programs, every year they're knocking on that title's door. What do? Do you go join those programs? I believe you should. You should leave and be able to go where you want to go play. Let's talk about Hillside and Durham. They got a new coach. I think they run that wing T offense. I think the year he won the state championship, either he threw 5 passes all year or they only threw 5 passes in the playoffs. Now, if I'm a wide receiver or quarterback that was at Hillside and he comes in and bring this offense, what is a kid to do? Because you're not going to get recruited off a wing. You're not, as a receiver, you're not going to get recruited off of a wing T offense. You just blocking, especially if you only threw 5 passes the whole year, only 5 passes in the playoffs. You're really not going to have any game footage. A quarterback, what you going to have, 1,000 handoffs, 5 thrown passes all year? So I'm just using them as an example. So if I was a kid in that situation, a wide receiver or quarterback, I would leave. There's no point in staying. Okay, he did take a team to the state championship. If you want to, I understand that they state championship caliber. He took his team to the state championship. But how many of his receivers got scholarships? We're looking at the big picture. If I'm a dad and that's my son, I would leave that program. I'm not telling him how to do that, but that's what I would do. My son was a wide receiver quarterback. We're getting out of there. Now, if you're an offensive lineman, running back, okay, that fits you perfect. You got a lot of game film, a lot of touches. But as a wide receiver, you're not getting any looks off that offense. It just doesn't fit you if you're a wide receiver that can catch and make plays, or a quarterback you want to throw the ball. That it just doesn't fit. So if I was in that situation, I'm using them as an example again, I would leave and get out of there and go to a program that fit my skill set. That's just an example of one. There's no point of staying at these schools and they're not winning. Let's talk about North Mecklenburg High School. Now, they got a gang, they have talent every year. They have talent. I'm talking about talented players, a lot of them academically sound. I know their sophomore class was stacked. A lot of those kids came from Piedmont Middle. So they got the talent. But it was just situations all year. You heard about how the offense was not moving, situations going on with the offense, players not being used right. You hear that every year in good or bad situations. But I think this situation, I went and watched them play. So I kind of understood on this situation, not getting the ball to your playmakers or maybe not knowing how to use your playmakers. And I'm a coach and I really don't like talking like that, but I watched that. And that was, could have been corrected. It could have been, but then they end up hiring a new coach, the defensive coordinator. So I'm hearing rumors that a lot of those North Met kids are going to be on their way out. That's a talented group of kids, man. They're going to help some program be productive and win. They got some stellar athletes. So they're going to help somebody win, but North over the years just couldn't get over that hump. We're talking about football now. Basketball, they are a state championship team now. But we're just talking about football. And these last couple of years, they've been having good quality players, but they just can't get over the hump and the wins and doing what they need to do. So what do the kids do? Stay 2 more years and wait it out, or go to programs where they can get in there instantly and make plays, programs that are making the playoffs? Or do they jump in there? Do they go to those schools and play? Yes. That would be the correct answer. Yes. Get out of there. Go somewhere where they're making the playoffs, where you can contribute, help win. Winning is consistent in the program. And go join forces with some other kids and try to win something or help yourself get to school. Because at the end of the day, man, you got to be kind of, I hate to say it, kind of loyal to yourself. You're the one putting the work in and doing it. I mean, you got to go somewhere that fits your skill set, or it's going to take advantage of your skill set. And you've been there 2 years, maybe 3, and you don't waited it out long enough, and it's just not manifesting. I think you should get out of there. I think you should. I don't think you should just hang around on these dead programs. I'm not saying North is one. I'm just saying programs that are traditionally not winning, not making the playoffs. I don't think you try. Kids try to go there and be a game changer and change the culture. But at some point, some of these programs, they're not going to change. It's just, I mean, they probably will change with the right coach, but they're so far removed from what they need to be doing. I don't think they're going to change. No time soon. And those kids got to make decisions, and I don't hate the kids for leaving. I think that's a smart idea. We don't own these kids. They just happen to stay in your school district and go to school. But if they can go somewhere else, help somebody else win and become better, I don't blame them for that. I think every kid should have a choice of where they want to go to school, not just mandated to go to this school and that school. And I'm going to be facing the same situation in 2 more years. But I'm already working on that now. I've already got my eyes fixed on what we're going to do and putting together a game plan of where B. Wash is going to be playing high school football. We're working on that now. I'm 2-3 years down the line thinking and preparing for where I'm going to have my baby playing. So, transferring high school kids, I think they should. I think you should be able to transfer. I don't think we should be moving around, hopping around 3 to 4 times. I think maybe you leave, go to a school, you make 1 transfer. I think that's all it takes is 1 transfer. But then you got kids transferring to 3 to 4 high schools every year. They're in a new high school. Now that I know will send off a red flag to recruiters. Like, you can't stay at a program. Like, you just jumping from one school to another. Now that's gonna set off a red flag. If you're high school, you're just jumping from one school to another. You've been in high school 4 years. You don't play for 3 different programs. Now that is a red flag situation. But as far as like you play your 9th and 10th grade year at a school and it just hasn't worked out for you, you want to spend your next 2 years somewhere else, I'm okay with that. I agree with that. But being a consistent transfer, you at 3 to 4 high school, that doesn't look good at all. That's throwing off red flags. But I'm just talking about a kid transferring one time to another school to work on himself in his game and try to earn that scholarship. So I do believe in transferring to other schools. I don't see anything wrong with that. The reason why I'm talking about it, I saw them talking about it on the Gridiron 704 on Facebook. I heard them talking. I saw a post about it. You know, they brought up Myers Park. How we're notorious for getting transfer kids. I mean, we pulled some stuff off during the COVID. We brought in some kids from California and Texas that weren't going to play during the COVID. But we were playing. They came down and stayed here. And we had some kids from California and Texas playing for the MP. I mean, we had a great record. But at the end of the day, it wasn't enough. Because we didn't win the state title. I think they got knocked off by Chambers or Mallard Creek that year, 1 to 2. But it wasn't enough to win a state title. And I'm firm in believing if they not transferring, you're not trying to win. I don't know what these coaches sitting here preaching this loyalty and all this stuff. If you're not trying to get kids to transfer to your program, you are not trying to win. And this stuff has been going on in the early 2000s, probably since in the 1990 something. People have been transferring and going to other schools. I thought about it when I was in high school. Me and my brother thought about it. We were going to leave Myers Park, either go to Olympic or West Charlotte. We stayed on Nations Ford Road. But we drove to school to to Myers Park. But we stayed on Nations Ford Road. We could have transferred to Olympic. I'm glad we didn't. We had a better year than them. But we thought about it. Or we were going to transfer to West Charlotte. Again, we were driving to school to Myers Park. But we made the decision to stay and help the school. We made the playoffs. So that kind of helped get the MP back because it was consistent losing years before we did that. But if you're a kid thinking about transferring or a parent, I'm with it. Just make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. I talked to my cousin about his son playing at South, starting as a 9th grader. He wants to move him out. Talking about the coaches got favorites. The coach, you're a 9th grader starting in CMS. Nobody's going to bench a senior quarterback for really a 9th grader. Because your son will be a 9th grader too, a senior too, and you don't want to put it out there like you're supposed to be trying to help these kids move on and get scholarships. So what does it look like benching your best option for a 9th grader? I'm not doing that. I mean, because the kids behind you are going to see that. Now, if he's just a generational talent type player, we might pull the trigger on that. But normally you don't see that. You're going to play the senior, try to help him get his stats, get to school. You have to be some type of loyal to your kids. So complaining about a 9th grader who plays varsity, talking about some daddy balling and the coach daddy balling, blah, blah, blah. Man, he was starting as a 9th grader at corner. That is great anywhere. Got a lot of good game footage, you know. I think you should keep him in South and let him play out. Palisades is doing some things too, but you got to make the right decisions because once you make it, this is, you're only gonna get one move, one transfer, so you better make it count. You better make that count and think about what you're doing. Parents, when you're transferring your kids, you got to make the right decision, especially your wide receiver. You need to make sure the school has a quarterback that can get you the ball. Wide receivers are not going to get offers unless you have a quarterback that can throw the ball and get you the ball. Okay? So, if you're a wide receiver looking for a place, you better find a place that has a quarterback. Quarterbacks in Charlotte, I've been saying, need to step up their play. Our quarterback play is not that good around here. It's not. I don't know what's going on, but the quarterback play is not that good. So quarterbacks need to step up. I think a lot of schools have the weapons to win, but I don't think they have the quarterback play to go along with it. So when you're making these moves and transferring, you got to look at everything. Are the coaches getting ready to leave? What players are there? What year are they? So a lot goes into it, trying to transfer out. So that's something to think about. Just be open-minded. I'm open-minded to it. Parents, y'all be open-minded, but just make sure you're making it, transferring for the right reasons, picking the next best school that's going to help your player achieve their goals, and just going out and playing some solid football. And let's talk about Coach Ferb getting hired over there at Butler. That was, everybody knew it for weeks. They said he was getting hired, and he did get hired. That's a 2-time state championship coach taking over a program that has been knocking on that door. They made it to the semifinals. No, I'm sorry. They made it to the Elite Eight last year. Lost to Independence, who they beat earlier. And Independence went on to play Weddington and lose. So Weddington won the state championship. But Butler had beat Weddington early in the year. Go back a couple years, Butler is knocking on the door in the semis to go to the state and lose to, I think, Grimsley on some crazy play at the end of the game. I talked to Cleveland Graham's dad all the time, Big Cleve. We talk about this all the time. Butler is there. It's there. But not being able to get that chip or get to the championship. Getting close. Semifinals, Elite Eight, getting close to knocking on the door, but not being able to knock the door down. So I think Ferber's going to do a good job. Again, I said it earlier, he has picked up some of the coaches from Chambers, and they're going to join him at Butler. I can't wait to see how that goes, because I like those coaches' swag. They really are about hype and swagging it out. And maybe that's what Butler needs on the next the next step, the next journey to becoming a state championship team. They're all about the hype. They believe in it. They preach it. Kids buy into it. Now, I know kids are going to be transferring into Butler. Some might leave, but I know some kids are coming over there to help play. They got Zach Lawrence, a senior quarterback. They got some other weapons, the wide receiver. I don't know his name. I think number 4. Then they got some a linebacker 2. I know their line was senior heavy, but I think they might be all right. I think they're going to have some kids coming in for some other places, transferring in. So I know Butler is going to be all right. I think that's going to work out, hiring Coach Ferb over there at Butler. I think that's going to be a good hire. West Charlotte got a new coach. Forgive me, I got his name on my phone. I'm not West Charlotte. Philip O'Berry, I'm sorry. Philip O'Berry got a new coach. He come from West Charlotte. I got his name on my phone. I can't remember, but I talked to him a couple times. So I think they're on the right path. And Philip O'Berry are getting their program back together. I think it's going to happen. Their coach left Philip O'Berry to coach the new high school in Ballantynes. So coach is on the go. Philip O'Berry coach left to go coach the new high school in Ballantynes. one of the guys at West Charlotte came over to Philip O'Berry. I think 2 coaches were retained from Butler, and I know Little John is on his way to West Charlotte, which would be good, for them. I don't know where my man Stone is at. I'm hearing he's applying for a couple jobs. Maybe might get that Morrisville job. But coaches are always on the go. Garinger has a new coach. I mean, I think he was coaching at Eastway, and now he's their new coach. Garinger need to do something, man. This is like the 4th coach in 4 years. I don't know what's going on over there. It seems like the administration is just not supporting the coaching staff. And that's what I've been told from coaches who was over there, that the administration is not supporting the staff. And you got to have some type of support. I mean, you're like, in the last 6 years, they had to have 5 coaches. In the last 7 years, they had to have 5 coaches. I mean, it is bad. They can't keep a coach. And somebody need to do something about that. Erica needs to step in. And Steve, and they need to see what's going on over there. Why Garinger can't retain a football coach. Either don't play football or work with the school on something. I think they need, they got a lot of gentrification going over there at Garinger. I think they need to take advantage of that. Gentrify their school. I think that will help them. I think they need to change the dynamics of the school or something. But something has to change, because every year they're getting a new coach. I think this new coach, and he might be there for a good minute. I give him 2 years. 2 years, because they're not winning games. But my man, TJ and Philando, they were doing a great job over there. Trying to get the kids ready, change the culture. They had them playing in the Friday Night Lights. They had some of their kids playing 7-on-7 in the Friday Night Lights. I think he said that man even won that. One of the age, they man won it. So they were trying to change the culture with that. And he said, talked to Philando, and he said, they won, and those kids were excited. He gave them some type of some type of hope, like, yeah, we can play, we can do better. And then the coach leave. That's another setback. Because every time a coach leave, he bringing in new assistants. So every year the kids are they can't even keep the same coaches. And then you expect them to win. So I think the big ADs in Charlotte need to step in and see what's going on with the school, because it's a problem somewhere. I think they're right. That maybe the administration not supporting the kids or the coaches like they should. But it's a problem going on at Garinger, and I hope they can get it fixed. I know Hardin is working on changing that stuff. They're getting a lot of kids from Wilson. A lot of those kids will be coming in playing varsity. So I know Hardin is trying to reach out and get kids in that area. I think they're rezoned. I think some of Wilmore now probably is going to Hardin and not West Charlotte. And I mean, not Miles Park. I'm correct that. I think because we have our kids at Sayesfield feed into Miles Park. And I think some of the kids uptown and maybe in that Wilmore area were going to Miles Park, but now I think there's zones for Harding. But a lot of those kids are going to West Charlotte. I mean, everybody wants to play for a winner. So I think Hardin, they're trying to get middle school kids to come over there. They talked to us after we played Wilson. Wilson played a lot of their games at Hardin. So their coach is trying to get more games at the school, get more kids familiar with Hardin. I mean, that's a great way of doing it. So, Hardin is trying to change up and get kids over there and get their program going. But most of those kids, I think, coming from Wilson and some from Whitewater. There's some talent over there. So maybe getting them to play varsity at an early age might help them. I don't know. I mean, You don't want to get beat up for 4 years. You got to get some winning going on, but you have to start somewhere. So big ups to Harden and what they're trying to do, getting those Wilson, Whitewater kids. They're trying to get kids to come over there and play, but it goes beyond that. You got to build up a booster club. Really get some boosters, man, to really put money into the program, and that not just outside boosters, but from your own school. The parents themselves have to start supporting. So that's what's going on in Charlotte. Let me see what else is going on. Who else? Chambers. Now their coaches are leaving and going to Butler. That coach has been there for a good minute. I don't know how that's going to affect some of their players, because some of their players are coming up on that senior year. They've been there. They grew up in the system and grew up with those coaches, trained with those coaches, and now those coaches are leaving them. So I don't know what type of effect that will have. The head coach is not leaving, just he's lost some assistants. But some coaches are staying and some are leaving. Some don't want to lead those kids like that. I know Facile, he's staying, which is great. He's an offensive coordinator. But I know a couple other solid coaches that are leaving or have left. So I wish those Chambers kids the best, man. But it's a shaky time for that to happen right before your senior year. But it could be a blessing in disguise. I mean, some kids could be looking at it. They don't gave up on us. They don't believe us. They don't believe in us. They thought we don't have nothing left. I never think that about Chambers. I think there's always some gas in that tank, baby. I don't think that tank is going to run low. Might not be the greatest records, but I think that tank is still going to keep something in it, just the area in which these kids are coming from. So, big up to the Chambers kids. I think this going to be motivation for Chambers. And then you got Mallard Creek. I don't know what's going on in Mallard Creek. They getting some players coming in. I think Tinsley may have hired a new OC. I know Tinsley would call the plays. I don't know. I'm hearing there might be somebody else calling the plays at Mallard Creek, that could be helpful. I think he's getting some kids coming in there. He might have some kids transferring in. There's always some kids coming to Mallard Creek. They stay solid. The quarterback has an offer. I'm hearing he's maturing now. He's doing a little bit more better with his maturing, growing up. So that he has an offer. I think Emory Henry or something like that. Emory Henry. I don't know, but I know he has a solid D2 offer, which is good for him. So he can build on that. Now he can go in and build on that. They say he's maturing great now. A little bit more focused from what I'm hearing. So look for Mallard Creek to be right there. And you never know, some of those North Meck boys maybe they transfer into Mallard Creek. I think a lot of them live in that area, the Highland Creek area. So you never know what's going on with that. You know where they're going. Huff, Mallard Creek. You never know with those North kids. But the word is about 5 or 6 of those kids are going to be on the move and maybe attending their home schools. A lot of them come from IB middle schools, like Piedmont is an IB program. North is an IB program, so they can go straight over there. And if they don't want to do IB, they can go to their home schools, which I think is Mallard Creek, maybe some or Huff. We'll see, but that's what I want to talk about today: transferring and coaches on the move, leaving, and how that can affect kids, good or bad. It's for some kids, like those kids at Chambers, I think they're going to power up off this. I can't wait to see what Tinsley brings in over there at Mallard Creek. Maybe get some of those North Met guys, and they get rolling over there. They're a player or two away from being awesome. And then you got Harden on the go, trying to get kids in. Philip O'Berry making moves, trying to get kids. And you got Ferb over there, Butler. I can't wait to see how their season turns out with Zach's senior year. So we're going to see that. And, Independent's going to be right there. They're back. They made it to the semifinals. The program has been brought back. So congratulations, Independence, on a rebuild. It was a couple of years they were down, but now they're back in action. And That's all I want to talk about. What's going on in Charlotte athletics and kids transferring to high schools and coaches coming and leaving. It was a good conversation today, but I forgot to say earlier in the podcast, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and share button. Again, let's make sure we hit that like, subscribe, and share button. And this is Coach Washington. I'm out.